It's 5 o'clock Mountain Time. That means it's time for Tom and Shane, business and politics. Happy to have you along with us. We've got four things we want to talk about today. We're going to take a look at Bud Light. We're going to take a look at Title 42 ending this evening. We're going to talk about the no documents subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee to the FBI, and Biden is losing the black vote. So we want to talk about all those things as we go through our program today. Welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm not sure where Shane is, but hopefully he will show up momentarily. So until he gets here, I want to thank all of our new subscribers. Thank you very much for subscribing to us. We really appreciate that very much, and for all your comments and all of those things. Very helpful to know what you're thinking out there. So we appreciate that very much. Well, to start with, it's time to talk about Bud Light. And I haven't really talked about Bud Light much because to be quite honest with you, boycotts are, they're kind of common and they come and go and all of that. But I had to bring it up because I don't think that boycotts work. But in the case of Bud Light, well, I stand corrected. So it's, there's no question. I don't know if you saw on TV the other day, Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. They're the guys that took Rush Limbaugh's place. Nobody listens to them, I don't think. They're barely in the top 10 of radio. And but anyway, Clay got the idea to go out to the beach, take a big cooler out there, put various types of beer in it, leave it there for anybody who wanted beer. And of course, one of the beers that was there in the cooler was Bud Light. And Shane joins us. Glad to have you along with me, Shane.
Well, I had to cross the universe to get here.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're in Canada. That's the problem.
Yeah, right.
got that metric system up there. So, well, we're talking about Bud Light, and I was talking about Clay Travis leaving a cooler on the beach, and nobody took the Bud Light. They took all the other brands that were in the cooler, but everybody left the Bud Light. And there was a guy who went viral on TikTok who went to a Boston Red Sox game and photographed or did a video of all the empty concession stands where Bud Light was sold. And went all over the stadium, I guess, and nobody was drinking Bud Light. So this thing is not slowing down, Shane. I don't think anytime soon.
Nor is it going away.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be.
It's like the vulture circling the White House, and and black swans circling the Capitol and the Treasury Department. I mean, they're just what a week. I mean, in 2 days. Wow.
It's been quite a bit. So, well, the other thing, I talked about this briefly on the radio, and speaking of the radio, of course, we're on every week, and you'll look at the crawl that will give you all the details. We're on radio. We'll talk about these topics in more detail on Saturday on our Saturday show, just right across the bottom of the screen. It'll be there. Write it down, learn it, live it, love it.
Very good.
Yeah.
I mean, did you write that yourself, or did you?
I did. Yeah.
Did your producer write it?
I didn't have AI do it for me. No, I wrote that entirely on my own.
How hard is it to do this show with headphones on and then the producer's mic in your ear?
Well, yeah, that's tough. Well, I don't pay attention to them. Once we go live, I don't care.
That's a good thing.
Screw off. We don't care what they say.
Well, that gal on CNN with the town meeting in New Hampshire with Trump, she was supposed to be the host of the town meeting. She turns out a debater. She was up there debating with him the whole time and making a fool of herself because she was listening to the producers, in her ear. And kept repeating the same questions over and over. And doing this isn't easy. So when you're a loose cannon and you're looking at someone you're supposed to be letting the audience ask questions, and you're looking at them with disdain and interrupting them and constantly asking them questions, taking away time from the people that are there to ask him questions. So this is why we're really happy with all the comments and people's involvement. And please, I'm pleading. It's a special service announcer. It's very special that you like us, because then we get points, but more important,
Yeah.
so
Well,
become part of the family. We want this family to grow.
Yeah. we haven't left Bud Light yet for the town hall. We're still talking Bud Light.
I realize that.
I know you couldn't
It's
wait,
not
right?
light
You couldn't
anymore.
wait.
No, it's like a poof. It's up in smoke. Bud Light's a dead beer. It's like roadkill. It's just
well.
people,
The question, no, the question is, why is it a dead beer? And the answer to that is that you can't attack a trans person. And for those of you who don't know, Bud Light made a congratulatory can for Dylan Mulvaney for being a woman for a year. And so they thought a ceremonial Bud Light can would do the trick. Now, these weren't on store shelves. They weren't sold anywhere. They were only given to her. And the reason I bring this up, the reason I even talk about it, and I think one of the reasons that is still going on is because you can't attack a trans person, but you can attack a trans person by not buying a beer that celebrated a trans person. And I think that's what you're seeing. I think you're seeing a lot of people that say, I'm not going to say anything negative about some trans person, but I sure as hell don't have to buy a Bud Light. And I think that's what I think that's what people are saying across the country. Now, that may sound racist, it may sound bigoted, but I truly think that the boycott of this is absolutely a way for people to show that they're not buying into this whole trans LBGT, whatever it is.
Don't forget the plus.
The plus, yeah, because we've got like 100 things that you can identify as. So,
well, sure, it's like a religion. There's all these different sects to this minority. With like 1.6% of your population, and everybody's looking at it and getting tired of it. But even more important, it's not 21 or 20 when when BLM blackmailed liberal corporations for hundreds of millions of dollars, and people got away with all the terrible things that they did, both politically and legally. None of them were charged. None of them were tracked down. Billions of destruction, and people died. So it's no wonder that finally Americans are going, I just don't need this. Any corporation that's going to take a political position, you saw what happened at Disney. They got whacked. Oh, and then on top of the whacking this week, they reported they lost 4 million subscribers to Disney Plus. Yeah. And it wasn't for the parks and the fact that they'd cut expenses and still made $500 million on Disney Plus. The stock would have dropped even more than 10%. Yeah, it would have. Budweiser dropped 30%, and it hasn't come back. And the brand will probably collapse from being one of the largest. We found out it was the largest selling beer, 14 million kegs a year of the beer or that quality in cans was people were drinking. Yeah. So now they've gone to some other light beer in a bottle or a can. Doesn't matter to them. Yeah. But they don't need to do it. And then they try to cover up instead of just coming out and say we made a mistake, which would have been the right thing to do. Yeah, it would have been. When Coke changed its formula, the brand went down the drain. They had to change CEO, and the first thing he did is he said, "We made a mistake. We're going back to the original formula." Yeah. So the CEO, Bud, had just come out and said, "We made a mistake. We didn't mean to insult or upset, the vast majority of people that drink our beer, and we apologize for that, and give us a second chance because it's still a great beer, and we want it to be popular again." That's what Americans want.
That's what he would have to. That's all he would have to
all
say.
this other bullshit. It's just
that's all he would have to say. You're right. Yeah.
It's just a bunch
well,
of bullshit.
you didn't put Rosa Parks on the can, or Joan of Arc, or Mother Teresa, or any of those folks. You could have put Betty Ford on it for.
Well, you want to get all these people back in the red state. You want to get all these people back in the red states buying the Bud Light again.
Yeah.
Put Trump's picture on it. I guarantee you, they'll recover in a day. All right.
I was going to say, didn't Budweiser look at the election map?
Yeah.
Now, I realize they sell a lot of beer in New York and San Diego and Dallas and Miami and all those places, but they sure sell a hell of a lot of it across the Midwest and everywhere south of Chicago and north of Dallas and west of Seattle, and I just think these folks. I agree with you. I think it's a terrible mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was a mistake in the way they did it. It was a mistake in the way they introduced it, and they were taken in by this overwhelming. If you say anything negative about me, you're a racist, bigot, homophobic, ass. So,
well, no, they were taken in by the woman they hired to handle this matter, and it's they did replace her, and which again, another simple answer to this bullshit would have been for the chairman or the CEO to come out and say, "We apologize. The person responsible for this is gone, and we will not use our brand as a political." Support mechanism ever again. It was wrong. We shouldn't have done it. Give us a second chance again.
Yeah.
You got to repeat this stuff because people don't hear you.
Oh yeah. No, I selling stuff to the masses. And when you start politically picking your groups, you're going to get in trouble. I mean,
you're going to get whacked.
Yeah. That's right. Oscar Mayer, BOLOGNA. We don't care what you're.
The majority rules in business as well as politics. I mean, that's true. That's the bottom line. And the majority out there was happy with the beer, and the majority out there have no interest in a topic like this, and they don't need to be, spoken down to or reappropriated or educated on something they don't care about.
Yeah,
they don't care about this whole issue that's going on, and it's absurd, and it's
no, I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. My light's getting in my way there.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see your
the corner. I don't know where
mine's just bright in my face.
Where's it supposed to go? I don't know where it's supposed to go. There we go.
No, it's still there. There. Leave it like that.
Yeah, leave it like that. I don't care.
It's just cut the corner off. It looks like an envelope.
Well, it shouldn't be moved. I don't know. I don't know what it's doing there. So anyway.
Well, it's shining the light on you.
Well, that's true.
It's making you bright, white, and smart.
Yeah. Got 6 lights on me. You still can't see me. All right. Title 42, Shane's going to end today. What do you think?
Well, I'm opposed to big government, and all the things we talk about. So the bottom line to this is COVID's over. So it was used under the guise of COVID. Should it continue to be used? No, because it's a health situation. That's the purpose of it. So, I mean, the common sense is you don't, but you replace it before you go, well, we're going to end Title 42 and we're going to replace it with, more guidelines. Well, that's what they've been telling everyone for a year. And even this week, that bald-headed idiot that's, Homeland Security Secretary.
Yeah,
the border's under control and it's closed.
It's closed.
And we figured this out.
Yeah, so, don't come. Don't come because it's not open. Yeah,
that's right. It takes the governor of Texas and 1,500 of his National Guardsmen to put up wire, that razor wire, man, it's brutal.
Oh yeah,
and to finally put it on his side on the shore. Because they tried it with horses and they got their heads whacked by Biden and the bald-headed head of, Homeland Security, because they lied their way through everything. I mean, they completely lied about it. Even Biden didn't apologize. He wanted those guys persecuted, and when the investigation came out, and it was shown that they were they were horsemen. You use the butt of your reins on a horse to control the horse. I mean, like this is not simple.
I don't know. I don't know.
Police, sort of action, right?
I don't know if you saw the Democrats, of course, making their stand, showed pictures of the kids in cages at a hearing today. I don't know if you saw this, Shane. They were pictures from the Biden administration.
I know.
and Obama's administration, the kids in cages. So look at this. This is horrible. This is disgusting. This is terrible. But I should reiterate for the people who don't know, there's 3 reasons why the kids are separated from their parents. 3 reasons. You ready?
Right. This is what I spin in my chair.
Yeah. First reason, you have to make sure that the person accompanying the child is an actual guardian or family member. Number 2, you have to make sure that the child is not being abused by the guardian or the family member. And number 3, you have to be sure that the person with the child is not wanted for a crime, either in the United States or their own country. And that's why they're separated, to protect the child.
Yeah, but it's all hogwash. Again, the bald-headed idiot running the Homeland Security's department, it tells everybody, well, we're going to, it's actually, we're going to check and release and ask them to check in with, firearms and alcohol and tobacco, and to make sure that they should be able to stay, and if not, they'll be sent back to their country. Yeah. Oh, this is great. The first act they do is break the law of your country, so you're going to trust them. That wherever they're sent, they're gonna contact a government agency that's a police force. That's the president's supposed to direct to remove them if they're not accepted. Any idiot you put that to would say, well, I'm not going to report because if they don't know where I am, they can't find me.
Well, that's it. Well, they're letting them loose, Shane. They're letting them loose with no court date, and they're just turning them loose in the country. I mean, they're just letting them go.
That's right.
They don't know who they are. They don't know where they're going. Yeah, they don't care.
And
they'll end up somewhere voting Democrat.
You can't put it on the border guards. You can't put it on the 1,500 guard that supposedly Biden's sending down. The sheriff's departments along the border, police departments in the cities. I mean,
they've had it.
We went through this whole thing with these cities being, we're welcoming cities. Now they're not. The same people that stood up and created this whole concept of welcoming cities.
We're sanctuary cities.
Well, I know it's sanctuary, but it's.
Well, the listeners and viewers may not know.
Well, then you correct it and make it sanctuary city.
I did.
But the bottom line is the key cities involved in this are all saying, no more. We can't take it anyway. We can't be a sanctuary.
Yeah, they're trashing our hotels. They're camped out on our streets. Phoenix, the neighborhood sued the city of Phoenix to remove all the tents and tent cities from their neighborhoods. That's what you got to. That's what you got to do. And I can't believe that the 435 people in Congress are sitting there saying, "Oh, gee, we're up for election, so we don't want to piss anybody off."
Well, yeah, but the mayor of New York City gets up and he says, we don't want any more people sent here. We're over. And then in the next breath he says, oh, and by the way, we're going to be closing streets in New York City, and we've hired a guy to build us these shelters. They're 400 square feet, and they're 2-bedroom, and they have a kitchen and a living area, and a bathroom. So I don't know how they're going to run the plumbing, I guess, directly into the sewage somehow. And, it, like a trailer that you take out, and after you've been out for 2 weeks, you go to the dumpster and you have to crawl under it and get the hose out to dump it in a sewage bin, right?
Absolutely.
But, so that's what they're going to do. And meanwhile, people looking at them, having to look at them or walk out the door and see these people on drugs, falling all over themselves, complaining about what's going on. They're paying taxes. They're working. They're having to live with 15% inflation. They're having to live with interest rates going to 7% on their mortgage, or not them, but the owners.
To pay,
now the rent's going up, and they're in a smaller place, and they're having to paying like $4,000 or $5,000 for less than 400 square feet.
That's for sure.
It boggles your mind as to at what point do the electorate of your country decide this is enough? I mean, a lot of them have over a beer.
Yeah.
When are they gonna have when are they gonna have enough over the border and all that? I heard
they're not doing it over a Bud Light. So
I heard a politician on CNBC.
Hurry up, because I got to subscribe here.
All right. A politician on CNBC, and of all people, a Democrat saying, "Well, it's regrettable, but by the end, if it continues like this, by the end of Biden's first 4 years, it'll be 15 million people." Really? Well,
it was 11 million 10 years ago. So,
hey,
if you like what you're hearing, subscribe, hit the notification bell,
or don't. But maybe share it on Facebook.
Maybe we can get Shane to shut up for a minute.
No, I want to make a point to tell these people that it's important to us.
Yeah, right. Well, it's important to them too. So we're here for them. And ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified when we're on, no matter what time zone you happen to be in. Like us, leave a comment if you like this kind of stuff. We got raided on YouTube yesterday, Shane. We had trolls putting all kinds of emojis up. So we're happy about that. That means we're doing something right if we get people raiding us. So like us, leave a comment, subscribe. You'll be glad you did, because, well, you're not going to hear this stuff anywhere else. So, that's just a given.
Well, like Nancy said, like CNN helped Trump win in 2016, and he'll help him win now in 2024 because
help him again.
Well, they have no choice because it's so bad. No one's following. No one's watching.
Yeah. Well, as I said on Tuesday, Shane, I didn't think the whistleblower documents were going to show up. The much ado about nothing. Comer went on TV and said, "Well, we got all this evidence here and there and whatever." Didn't show any of it or tell any of it, but apparently they claim they've got. In fact, they were asking.
Well, that's not true. They released several documents.
Well,
nothing. And they're going to release more documents.
Yeah. It's the government, Shane. Jeez, come on.
Okay.
You're not going to get anything of substance out of this. I mean, you're not. In fact, they asked to hold on arresting or indicting Hunter, because they're waiting for more information.
Well, that was until they said till Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Wednesday's come and gone. It's now Thursday. So, the bottom line is that he should be arrested. He should be charged. I mean,
but so far nothing. So, well, they said they don't want to indict him until they have ties to Pop and the brother James, I guess.
Well, no, that's the committee. They don't want to refer it to the Justice Department for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, that's not what you said.
So I said they don't want him indicted.
A committee cannot indict anyone.
I know.
They can only investigate and then send the information to the Attorney General and the Justice Department and request an indictment. And your Attorney General and the 25,000 lawyers he has, he'll pick a couple of woke Democrats to review it and make a decision about indicting somebody that they recommend. Yeah. And we'll see if that happens.
Well, we'll see. I don't think the Justice Department is going to move a foot. They're not going anywhere.
Well, all of President Biden's family, including his son, and we're talking like 9 of his members of his family, they now have information provided, by the way, by the Chinese who gave them the bank records.
Yeah.
And they should all be charged with not reporting as a
Mhm.
foreign representative.
Yeah.
That's what they did to Trump's guy, and
Mhm.
threw him in the clinker after 4
Yeah.
years and battling back and forth.
Yeah. Well, we got Hunter on taxes and a gun charge. His lawyer paid his tax bill, so he may not be on the hook for taxes. Says
Doesn't
he paid,
matter.
paid it and paid the
The
fine.
NCIS
So
report's really important, and it's a 20.
mhm.
If you're charged with that, and of course convicted, which in this case he's admitted to it on his laptop, from
Mhm.
hell,
Yeah.
and they've got all the information, and the FBI has for 3 years, 3 years, and it's 20 years, and that's the reason they're having a hard time about charging him, because we get back to that question.
Yeah.
Well, so does Papa pardon him, or he goes away for 20 years?
Yeah.
That's what's going on in the White House. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
That,
Well, I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do here in just a moment.
all right.
I have a conspiracy theory, Shane.
All
Are
right.
you ready
I
for this
love
one?
these. Yeah, I wanted to go viral. So
It
pay
will.
attention, everyone.
It will have to go viral because Biden is losing black support in the polls, and he's already dropped into the 40s and below. The
Yeah, but
average is in the 40s, and the hang
from
on,
90%.
yeah, I know, yeah.
What do
So
you mean? Yeah, I like this. This is like one of those things on television. Chop your vegetables. Oh my God! You can chop your vegetables into little pieces. Well, like Biden, I mean, 50% drop in the support of
mhm.
a minority group in the demolition party. That's
Okay.
astounding.
Well, let me finish, and I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Well,
I'll tell you
it's
what's
too
going to
much
happen.
fun talking over you. I like it.
That's okay. I can always shut you off.
Yeah, you can. You're in charge.
I know.
You're the producer,
I
director,
know.
the writer, the host. It's your show.
Hush. All right. Here's what's going to happen between now and November. The Democrats are going to come to Biden and they're going to say, Joe, this isn't working. We're going to give you an option. You can resign or we're going to impeach you.
No, they won't do that. They're going to come to him and say, "We're not going to support you for a second term. That's all." And this whole thing about him announcing 2 weeks ago and everything will go down the tubes, and all of a sudden they know it's a good shot. It's a long shot. It's a long shot. But JFK Robert or Jake Robert K. Or whatever, Robert Kennedy III, son of Bobby Kennedy, assassinated, and son of the president assassinated. He's a Kennedy. And, let's get Camelot back and we'll get all those women to vote.
70% of the voters have no idea Kennedy's history. It's
Doesn't
old
matter.
news.
The women that'll vote or that know the Kennedys will.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the women. Can I continue my theory?
Well, there's only 52% of the vote is women. I mean, that.
Can I continue my theory?
Sure. Oh, right. And it's a conspiracy, right?
It is.
Okay.
They're going to give Biden the choice: resign or we'll impeach you. Kamala becomes president. It doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why it doesn't matter, because Obama's not running Biden's not running the show now. Everybody knows that. He's not calling the shots.
No, he's listening to the
And
producer
hang
in his
on.
ear.
Stop.
He's listening to the producer in his ear.
Stop. He's not calling the shots, and as sure as hell, Kamala's not going to be calling the shots. So she's just going to be sitting there cackling in speeches for the next 13 months. And who are they going to bring out of the wings? Not Robert Kennedy Jr. with his speech issue, and there's nobody else. The only obvious person to bring out for the Republican side is
Democrat
Michele Obama.
Yeah, right.
They will bring her out,
no,
and she will rock and roll. And you get Obama back in office. All the women are happy. They will vote for him in droves, and we've seen it before. We'll see it again. And this is something that's been floated for a long time. And I predict it will happen.
Well, there you go. There's your conspiracy.
That's my conspiracy theory.
That's there. I don't see the conspiracy behind any of that. But they're not going to let Biden resign and have donkey cough become president. Because then you couldn't have Obama in your conspiracy challenge her in the primaries because everybody.
Of course you could. The Obama's running things now. The Obama crew is running Biden now. That's not going to change just because Kamala's in there. They'll just ignore her. They'll go to Congress, say, "Here's what you passed. You sign this," and you'll be great because, as we know, Kamala is going to be she's going to be primaried out.
Well,
when she ran, she only got 1% of the vote. She was out after the 2 or 3 primaries.
She doesn't like your country anymore now than she did when her husband was running.
Even more so. She'll be done early.
01012 is right. If the truth wins the day Trump wins, Trump will win easily against anyone.
No, I don't think so. Too much baggage.
I agree with you, Tuber. You're my main man, buddy.
Too much baggage.
Oh, really? And Biden doesn't, and the Obamas don't.
That's the thing.
His wife and her wife and their wife.
You got 2 bad candidates, and the only ones that can come to the rescue. DeSantis might be able to come to the rescue, and Kennedy might be able to come to the rescue for the Dems.
Trump pointed out that after this trial in New York, and they found him liable for what he said about this woman. And he has to pay her $5 million. You see, they always overreach. If they'd said, okay, you offended this woman and you should have said the nasty things you did, and so you $1 million, pay her $1 million. But no, they got to go for the 5, and all that does.
That's the jury.
That's a giant sign saying, wrong. 2-tier system. One for the demolition party, one for the Republicans, and here's another example, and here we go all over again.
It's the jury. The jury recommended the 5, not the court.
Well,
I mean, it was up to them.
Right, and they weren't Democrats, and they weren't being told. I mean, how would they come up with 5 million of all numbers?
Well, I don't know. There's 12 of them. They discussed it. They discussed it.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a jury? I guess not.
No.
I have. I have a lot of times.
I've been called 4 times and showed up and went up and sat down, took the oath, and
they didn't like that.
Well, no, and they said, "Will this interfere with your work?" And I said, "Of course it will." Okay, you can go.
Okay, all right. That's it. There you go. Yeah. So. All right. Final thoughts on all of this. Any of it, Shane? Now you can talk about the town hall if you want to.
Well, it's just that when this girl tried to persecute him about this decision by the trial, this trial in New York, and ask him about his other trials, and he said, you can't get a fair trial in Washington D.C. or New York either. But he said. They came up with this decision, and the next day I went up in the polls. Like, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think people understand clearly now. They have a choice. They're either going to go down the rapids and hit every rock on the way after rolling over in their kayak, even though they got a helmet on, and banging their head on stone after stone, which isn't a pretty sight. Or they got to get somebody or a number of people in the House and the Senate and in the White House that might try and save the day.
Yeah, well, I don't see that happening. I think this will be settled out of court between Carroll and Trump. I think it'll be settled with no information about the payoff or how much it was or whatever. We
already agreed on Tuesday. That's old business.
Well, it's not old business to people who are listening to us today.
Well, they can go to our library of over 800.
Yeah, right. I'm sure that's what they're going to do.
So please, Mr. Host, without sounding like I'm debating you, please tell everyone how they can go and find out about all of our shows.
Well, they can find them because the crawl down below is saying right now, Tom and Shane are on the radio every Saturday, 8 to 11 Mountain Time. Go to kmmsam.com, click listen now, no sign up, nothing to join, no email, no payment. We don't even know who you are. We don't care who you are. You can text us, you can phone us. We are live. You can talk to us just like regular human beings. Shane's in Canada. I'm in Bozeman, Montana. And that's where we are. And our past shows, if you do want to get a sample of what we do on the radio, they're also at kmmsam.com. Just click on Tom and Shane's podcast, and you can pick the ones you want. And all of our videos are there. All of our audio is there. Radio shows are all there. And you can pick and choose whatever you want. So it's just that simple.
Well, that's a great public announcement to me, and a final word.
I thought it was, yeah.
I think it was impressive.
Yeah. Well, don't forget that we're here every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. And, of course, we're on radio every Saturday, 8 to 11 Mountain Time, and Mountain Time, 5 o'clock here in the Mountain Time Zone. And we're happy for you to join us. And hopefully you'll join us on radio. Hopefully you'll be a regular listener here, because we enjoy doing this. We enjoy debating the issues of the day, so to speak, I guess.
So when we talk to you next Tuesday, I promise to take my pants down from hanging on the door there in the background. But I hope you enjoyed my grandchildren's artwork, because it's pretty
good. Yeah. Just a point. Rather than saying take my pants down before you say they're hanging on the door, you might notice hanging on the door are my pants. I'll take those down.
Well, I appreciate you correcting me. If I had a producer, he would have told me that in the earphone.
In the ear. I would know that in the earphone. All right. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks, Shane, for being here. As always, always great to chat with you. As always.
About hanging pants?
That's right. And thanks to all our comments. Great comments, great listeners, great folks. We like to thank all of our new subscribers on YouTube as well. You guys are great. We really appreciate you supporting us, and we're happy to welcome all the new folks. Again, we'll talk to you on the radio on Saturday. We'll be back here next Tuesday. So thanks for watching. That's it for us. We'll see you next Tuesday.